Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BroadBoys podcast. I'm Cade. This is Micah. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we got a pretty long individual topic. A long individual topic, which is my mouse.
Yes.
This is my mouse that I use for my actual computing duties.
Yeah.
And if for the audio listeners, this is a ergonomic vertical mouse.
Yes, his hand is upright.
Yes. It's like I'm grabbing a rat.
And fun fact, he uses it for his games too.
Yeah, I use it for everything.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, when I first brought this up, people thought I was a freak. I mean, I'm sure people still do.
Yeah.
But, it's whatever. What we are doing today with this mouse is, and we're not actually going to talk about the mouse the whole time. We're not going to talk about the mouse. What we are going to do is we're going to try something new for the podcast. We're going to try making a tier list with you all. So imagine a tier list template. Oh,
whoa.
if you're not an audio listener, you can probably see it, but don't worry, audio listeners. We'll keep you intact. We'll keep you with us, keep you following along.
Informed. You'll be able to feel the tier list through our voices.
Yes. But if you're a YouTube watcher, you might be able to see that this is a game studio tier list.
Yes, of course.
So I feel like this topic is going to be quite contentious between us in some aspects, I feel.
I think so. I think
it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we're not going to cover everything you see, mostly because there's a bunch that we just don't have any thoughts on.
We're going to skip the lame ones.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, well, let's categorize them all. They're all super lame. They're all super lame. So if we don't talk about your favorite studio, get a new favorite studio because that is garbage.
In case you're wondering, the screen's a little bit a ways away, so if you see me squinting, it's because it's a bit further than I wish it was.
Yeah, this is a new setup. We're trying it out.
We're trying it.
So
what does it say at the bottom?
Oh, that's so the tiers that we're going to be going with is S, A, B, C, D, F, and mobile tier.
Ah, the mobile tier.
The mobile tier.
We don't like the mobile tier.
Yeah, we'll see if we end up using it. I don't know. I think we should rank the ones that we know of at least.
Sure.
I'm not like, where's the one? There's one like King Games.
Hey.
That I'm pretty sure is just exclusively mobile games.
Yes, they did Candy Crush.
Yeah. So
see, I knew that.
I think we actually rank it. I don't think we need to throw in a mobile tier.
Okay.
So,
well, do we want to start with Epic Games?
Sure. What a great thing to start with.
Yeah.
So here we go. Epic Games. What have they made? Fortnite.
Unreal Engine.
Did they were the ones that made Unreal Engine?
They're the ones who are licensing it.
Okay. Anything else?
They own Rocket League now.
I guess, but they didn't make... Yeah, so I guess some criteria just to kind of set it out. So this is going to be kind of ranking not just the games that they've made, but also like decisions that they made, which I know we'll get into, but it's weighted. So
they're the ones making 33 Immortals.
Oh,
that's an Epic Games Studio game.
There you go. That's interesting because I was collaborating with Microsoft.
Oh, the Gears of War games?
Did they make that or do they just have
I don't know. I don't know. That it's developed by Epic Games and published by Microsoft.
Okay.
There you go.
Learning something new about Epic every day.
Well, are we counting their entire game library or just how they are now?
Because if we're talking about how they are now, I think they're a D company.
Epic Games?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because they only have two products, Fortnite and Unreal Engine.
Okay.
And I have really started becoming a UE5 hater.
Really? Why? Talk about that.
Because it's promoting laziness in the industry. I actually don't think UE5 is all that bad. I think it's a technological marvel.
Yeah, it's a tool, isn't it? What makes it different from other tools?
It's a crutch that big studios are using to not have to focus on actually making good game devs. And on top of that, I don't like Ubisoft's criteria where they are saying if you use our engine, you have to follow our game guide. So they released a rule set where
Mm-hmm.
if your game includes too much vulgar language or sexist language or anything like that, then they have the right to revoke your license
For the engine.
for the engine.
That's an interesting decision for sure.
Yes.
So, well, what does that have to do with Epic Games? Because that's Ubisoft.
No, Epic Games licenses Unreal Engine.
So wait, what's the connection to Ubisoft?
Did I say Ubisoft?
Yeah.
I did not mean to say Ubisoft.
Okay. All right. I'm very confused. You confused me so
I
much.
completely apologize.
All right.
I did not mean to say Ubisoft.
Yeah,
I
so-
meant Epic Games.
I don't know if you could say Epic is a D company.
D company.
I don't know about
They
that.
have Fortnite and a game engine.
But Fortnite's like very popular and they support it a lot. Like they put more work into Fortnite than most A studios do into other games.
Yeah, but I don't like Fortnite.
I get that. I get that. Listen, I'm not saying we put it in A.
Or what are you proposing?
I think it's a B. I think it's a middle ground.
B?
Yeah.
We can compromise and put in C.
Sure, why not? You know what? Epic Games, you get a C
Nice.
for Epic. Epic. I'm skipping to Acclaim.
Okay.
Do you know Acclaim at all?
I recognize it.
So Acclaim is a bit more of a relic, I think. It was a lot more popular back in like the 2000s and kind of like early 2010s,
What'd they make?
let's say. So I want to make sure I'm representing them right. So I'm going to get out their actual games. Oh gosh, we're not going to know any of these. Prize Potato?
Nope.
Don't know Prize Potato?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Man, it was founded in 2006.
Dude, there's nothing on their Wikipedia page.
I'm sorry, Acclaim.
Like
We don't know anything about you. But you know what? It might have been like it
they
got
did-
dissolved.
They did Baldur's Gate 2.
They did. So they were kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a double A studio back in the day,
Yep.
but now it's just kind of like
they became a publisher towards the end and then dropped off.
yes.
They did that route.
Yes.
Well, what did they actually produce themselves?
So I just want to say I think Acclaim goes for like
F.
because they gave up.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Loser company giving up
Giving
and
up.
just becoming a publisher and then not even surviving.
Well, it kind of got reborn as a publisher, though. It kind of like dissolved, and then
I don't know. L company.
I mean, they had some decent games.
Yeah, L company.
They had some decent
Yeah,
games.
they're dead now though.
They are. I'm not arguing against that.
So F.
But they made Magic the Gathering the video game.
I have never played Magic the Gathering, the video game.
Okay. All right, then there's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to convince you. Then that's it. All right, sure. Acclaim an F.
Cool.
All right, Coffee Stain.
Hey,
we
I
can
like
talk about
Coffee
Coffee
Stain.
Stain. We can talk about Coffee Stain.
I love Coffee Stain. They did Satisfactory.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well,
No, they've done a lot of like great products, especially
Mm-hmm.
in like the past. I want to say 5 years.
yeah.
So they've done like Valheim,
Oh yeah, they did Valheim.
Deep Rock Galactic,
As We Descend,
Satisfactory.
Goat Simulator,
Yeah, they did Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator 2, Goat Simulator 3. Oh, I love this studio.
Yeah. Have you played As We Descend? Because I haven't.
I have not.
Or Songs of Conquest.
I've played Satisfactory, Goat Simulator, and Valheim and Deep Rock Galactic. Now, I'm not a Valheim fan, but I understand the people who enjoy Valheim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not played As We Descend, but Oh, it's this game.
No, I have not played it, but it looks good.
I mean, it's a studio that like I think consistently listens to their fans, and they constantly update their games.
Yes.
I mean, Satisfactory just came out this past year, even though the beta or whatever you want to call it's been available for a lot longer. And Valheim is the same way, as well as Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, it's still getting so much love from the company.
yeah. I honestly think this is like
S tier.
an S tier.
This is what every company should strive to be.
Yeah. And like really the only thing you can knock them on is just the number of products that they have. But I feel like, for
They're a smaller studio.
They're a smaller studio, and for Goat Simulator being kind of their breakout,
Yeah.
they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty well. I like the
I
people
think-
over at Coffee Stain.
Yeah, I do too. Similar thread. I know it's in there. We could just grab Larian and throw it up in S real quick.
Why? Because they made Baldur's Gate 3.
Because they made Baldur's Gate 3. They made Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2.
And?
They don't need a big repertoire to be a great studio.
That's true, but is there any, they've done like Catnet Kick?
I will say they have been around since like the 90s, so they are a pretty legacy company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they really broke out with not Baldur's Gate 3. Really broke out with Divinity Original Sin.
Mm-hmm. So most of their games are very like how would you what's the classification of that genre? Like
I don't actually know.
though they're RPGs, turn-based combat, they typically,
Yep.
but it's very it's not like JRPGs.
No, it's like
There's a word for this categorization that I'm
it's like playing a tabletop game,
yeah.
just as in a
game.
Yeah, in a game.
In a game.
And
They're
they
good.
did, yeah,
They're
they
good.
did Divine Divinity Beyond Divinity, Divinity 2 Developers Cut, Dragon Commander, Divinity Original Sin, Divinity Original Sin 2, and then Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've actually played quite a few of these, but yeah, when you look at like the original Divinity games, they are, I mean, still immensely popular today. They fall like for people's love category, they fall into like the Dwarf Fortress realm of like a ludicrous amount of people still remember and enjoy those games.
Yeah.
Like they were pretty big. I don't know that they were big in the 90s, but like Dwarf Fortress was really cool. A lot of people liked it, and it really gained a cult following into like the 2010s.
Yeah.
Like almost 20 years after it came out. But it's still crazy that those games are still talked about 40-ish years later.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts. Yeah, I'm debating right now. I don't know. I feel like most of my thoughts about Larian are just around Baldur's Gate 3. When I think back, I have around 50 hours in Divinity Original Sin 2.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it was not my favorite.
Really?
I didn't really like it that much.
So it took me 3 tries. I think
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Well, I think it wasn't my game when I first bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't into the elemental system. I wasn't into how slow the story built. But then I think when I finally decided I was going to like learn the elemental system, the game became a lot more fun. I don't think the game's actually difficult. I think I just had a wall because I didn't want to read the tutorial text.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the characters in the story were a very weak point for me in that game.
I thought Act 1 was really weak, but I really loved Act 2. Like, it was really good. After you kill the adjudicator, what's his name?
I don't know.
Alexander. Yeah, after you kill Alexander.
Oh, and you escape the island.
Yeah, the game super picks up. That Act 1 is really, a lot of people call it the tutorial island because you're supposed to get through it pretty quick. And I think the first 2 times I did it, I was like, I want to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you're really only supposed to get a couple levels, fight Alexander, and leave.
Yeah. But I mean, unlike Baldur's Gate 3, like there's not a lot of characters I think you really latch on to. Like now you do have your party and they do have their own side quests.
Yep.
But I think there's a lot of loss in character. When comparing it to Baldur's Gate 3, I'm not saying like that was a bad decision that they made.
I think it's because most of the cutscenes are not cutscenes. They're mostly just talking. Like there are a couple third-person cutscenes like that you have in Baldur's Gate, but most of them are you enter, the camera pans to the person talking, and you're still in that vertical view.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
I don't know.
But I definitely think as a studio, they have released great games and have been very receptive to the public. They have, yeah.
I mean, it's a golden cow. I feel like I'd get crucified if I didn't put in an S. But
I agree.
I would say A, personally, just because I want to see a bit more before throwing in an S.
I mean,
like Coffee Stain, I'm just like, if a game's a Coffee Stain game, I'm like, oh, right now, I'm like, that's 100% like going to be a great game. Larian, I'm like, I don't know. I want one more 10 out of 10 to come out before I say that about them.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
That's what I would say.
I wanted an S, but I'll let you put an A.
Okay.
but you have to keep it in high A until we've seen other things.
Sure. We're gonna plop it into high A.
It's the only one in A right
The
now.
only one in A. So if you're keeping track, Coffee Stain in S, Larian in A, Epic Games in C, Acclaim in F. The next one I want to talk about is let's do Atlas. You said Larian. I'm gonna talk about Atlas.
Atlas Games.
So Atlas Games. What's the first game you think of when you think of Atlas Games?
I wanted to say Persona, but
No, that's right.
It is?
No, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
exactly
yeah, yeah.
what I'm talking about.
So Atlas is actually owned by Sega.
Okay.
But they make a lot of JRPGs.
Yes, I did know that.
That's kind of their whole deal, is that they make JRPGs. So
Persona,
the
Persona 2,
series,
Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5, Persona 5 Reloaded,
Persona 3 Reloaded,
Persona 3
5
Reloaded.
Royal,
Oh, Persona 5 Royal. Oops.
Metaphor Refantasio.
Yep.
When all that is a spin-off series
Yeah.
of their main JRPG, Shin Megami Tensei, which is like even more Japanese than Persona is. They also have done a couple other spin-offs like Devil Survivor. But they've made some good standalone stories like Radiant Historia, which was a DS and 3DS game. They made Trauma Under the Knife.
Okay.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Let's see.
I think, you're already saying things, right? I don't think that they're my studio, but I can recognize that they are a good studio.
I'm saying B.
Really, I was going to say A.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean, I don't know. I think that right now they're just riding high off Persona. And they do make great JRPGs.
how have they treated their gamers?
Very well.
Well, then why a B? They make great JRPGs. They're good in their genre.
Yes.
Like you got to look at their genre,
All
right?
right. Here. So because I'm thinking, so that would describe Atlas in the past, like
5 years.
Oh man, 10 years
10
now
years.
at this point. I think when you get to like the late 2000s, their history, they had a couple stinkers.
Okay.
But now when I'm looking at the list more, they also made Catherine Full Body, which is a different type of game that also did really well. They've done a lot. They've done the dungeon crawler genre. They've done JRPGs.
They feel like an A company. Most of their stuff hits.
I don't know how you ended up higher than me, but yeah, I'll give Atlas an A. So we'll shake on A.
I'm not just looking at the games. I'm trying to like judge how the company.
No,
vibes.
I get it, but also like we could be recent. There's recency bias that exists.
There is definitely recency bias.
Exists. Well, great. Atlas and A, below Larian, let's say, because I would say Larian
Is better than
is
Atlas.
a better studio than Atlas.
Yes. I see Rockstar.
Rockstar. All right, this is contentious. I am thinking pretty low.
Really?
Yes.
Because they made
GTA, Red Dead, right?
Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
They make banger games.
But like it takes a million years for them to come out.
Okay, yeah, but they make banger games when they come out. Didn't they make Bully as well?
They did make Bully,
Yeah.
which is a classic.
Yeah.
Which is a classic. Got to give it up for Bully.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
I told you my knee-jerk reaction.
That's fair. I don't think they're the best company in the world.
No.
Which is tough because they've made a lot of good games. They've also made quite a few mid games. They made You Don't Know Jack. Crazy.
Wait, they started that?
Apparently.
That's crazy.
They made Max Payne series, which is really good.
That's good.
They release banger games. I just don't think that they also release some pre-mid games, but I don't know. I don't like the company as a whole, which is a struggle. Because I really like their games. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is up there in like top 25 best games ever made.
Okay.
That being said, Rockstar's PR team has never been the best. They are the company that throws the middle finger to the fans and says, just you wait because you're going to like our game, so screw you.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they threw a $100 price tag on GTA 6 because they believe that they can.
Yeah.
And they can.
And they can.
know?
I mean,
And
here's the deal, right? They make good games, but they're a rude company. And they just live off of the fact that they know they make good games.
I mean, I don't know. Most of my stuff is like, it's all the hype off of GTA 5, which is GTA 5 is a warranted game to have hype off of. but that was 2013.
Yeah.
That was 2013 at this point. And I am a little pessimistic about GTA 6. So my inclination is towards the middle of the pack.
I'm happy to put them at B, and that might be low for some people, but I'm happy to put them at a B company.
Yeah, we're missing a spot. No, nothing's in B yet. We got to fill it up.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll change our minds later.
Maybe
we'll change our minds.
I see. What do I want to talk about next?
I'll jump in. I'll
Okay.
do Team Ninja.
Team Ninja.
Now, this is another company I want to make sure I represent properly here.
Okay.
Team Ninja has made the Neo games,
Oh.
the Ninja Gaiden games, so including Ninja Gaiden Black.
Oh.
They made the Dead or Alive games. They also made Metroid Other M and Hyrule Warriors. Fun fact. Both games that I really like. Well, all right, more Hyrule Warriors than Metroid Other M. And then...
Are they owned by Sony?
No, right now, actually, they're doing more collaborations with Microsoft. And even more classics. They made the... I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. I never knew how to pronounce this, but Dissidia Final Fantasy series on the PSP, which is kind of a cult classic. People love those games. But really, they're Dead or Alive, Neo, and Ninja Gaiden, which are all like banger series.
Oh, shoot.
Now, Dead or Alive, you can have some issues with, and I think those issues are perfectly fine to have. Dead or Alive has always, I mean, I think their director is like, we're going to make a game about sex and violence.
Yeah.
And so tons of fan service, almost like overly so.
Yeah.
There's a spin-off series called Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Okay.
And there was one on the PSP called Dead or Alive Extreme Paradise or something like that. Where instead of playing volleyball, you're taking pictures. So to give you an idea. So not a perfect company, but they made Neo 2. So think about that.
They released Ninja Gaiden 4 this year.
They did. And Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which they shadow dropped earlier this year. I like Team Ninja, but I think, it's like, I mean, it's like they do what they do and they do it well.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Though Dead or Alive 6 wasn't the best, but whatever.
I don't know. I don't know much about these games. I'll let you pick where it goes.
I know I'm hopping between B and A, if I'm being honest. But I think, to be fair, I'll give it a B.
Okay.
Because the Ninja Gaiden Black 1 made me mad. So sorry, Team Ninja.
Okay.
But that's where you found me.
Bandai Namco.
This one is a complicated
We could do
studio.
Bandai Namco.
Complicated studio, Bandai Namco. So
Yep.
just off the top of my head, they made Tekken.
Yep.
They made Tekken. They worked with Nintendo to make Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate.
Yep.
They also are involved with like FromSoft. So with Elden Ring.
They're doing Night Rain.
They also make a lot of the anime games. So you think about like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
The Bleach game.
Yep, upcoming Bleach game.
Shadow Labyrinth.
All that. So the problem is I don't know how... I mean...
So this is how I feel about Bandai Namco. Okay. They are a company that puts a lot of pride into a couple games that usually are pretty big, right? But then they also have a whole bunch of these developers that they just outsource to these like fan projects that are official. And I feel like it taints their company image, right? You see Bandai Namco and you're like, isn't that the company that made this really crap anime spin-off game? That's versus true. Bandai Namco, the creator of the Tekken series, you know? It's like you can't they mix their blood. They got bad blood,
No, I get it, and they're a big company. Like they
I know.
Working on
they're like
20 games at a time.
I was about to say they're
feel.
like top 20 in the world, aren't they?
Yeah, something like
Maybe
that. And it's mainly
top 10.
because they're like a sideline player. Like they're kind of working from the shadows and a lot of
Yeah.
like most of the Nintendo games they work on, they're not on the front.
Yeah, they feel like a lot of those companies that made like the Cartoon Network games, where it's like they're that for Japan.
Okay, I don't know. That seems a little crazy to call them the licensed games.
It
studio.
kind of feels like it. They got
because
Dragon Ball games, Bleach games, name an anime. They probably have made a game for it.
Yeah, but like that's like saying one of those studios is like also making Call of Duty or Cyberpunk 2 or like
But that's what I'm
working with
saying. Is
CG
it's kind of
Projekt
like
Red.
muddied their image.
Oh, that's so. It's hard to say.
It's better than Epic Games.
I agree. Better than Epic Games for sure. I would be willing to go for A.
I'd also be willing to put Epic Games down a tier. You know, now that we're talking about it.
Sure, why not? D for Epic. Bandai Namco. I'm gonna honestly. I think
I'm feeling B personally.
you're feeling B.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I feel like you gotta look at the company as a whole. They're a licensed game company who also happens to make bangers on their spare time.
Okay. They
make more.
All right, but the licensed games they make are generally really well received. The ones that are not were like the Jujutsu Kaisen game, the Demon Slayer game, because both of them are like Naruto, Ninja Storm.
That's fair.
Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm and that whole series is super well received. You know, the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero was really well received, even though, you know, it's a Dragon Ball, it's an anime game or whatever. They're well received games and they're well made games.
Yeah,
would be my argument, is that they should go a little bit higher.
Okay, where are we at? Show me the thing.
All right, looking at the tier list.
You want to put it above Rockstar? Because you're saying A, weren't you?
Yeah, I would say that actually. I had to think about it for a sec. I'd put Bandai Namco above Rockstar. I don't know much. I don't know any of these companies' like internal practices, by the way. So
I would still want Rockstar above Bandai Namco. So if you want Bandai Namco in A, you should put Rockstar in A.
I'll sacrifice and put it in B then.
Okay.
Because I don't want Rockstar in A. I guess that's how we're playing it. All right, moving on. You know, let's talk let's get one of the big three in here.
Sony.
Let's get big SONY.
Yeah.
See, this is tough because I think Sony from the past 15 years I would put that in a way different tier than I would put Sony pre 2010.
Oh, 100%. There's like two separate companies there.
Yeah, it's insane how much I hate kind of this I won't say hate. Like I
PS3 Sony and before was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then you have PS4 Sony, who's like, we just made the best console in history.
Okay.
And then didn't do anything after that.
Yeah.
Kind of crap.
They did it. They did it again, except that they didn't do it again.
Yeah.
Sony.
We were talking about this in a previous episode where we're like, what has Sony released recently? And the only thing we can think of is like Astrobot did well.
Yeah, and the Astrobot was pissing me off because, you know, that came out and it has cameos with like 50 different Sony characters
that they just aren't touching.
And then the same week it was like it was one of the executives was saying, yeah, we just don't have any IP to rely on.
Yeah.
So like that's where the company's at right now, is where they're not like even considering bringing back. They still use Ratchet and Clank, or they've used them recently.
And I think there's a bit more than recency bias here because it's been like 10 years of this behavior.
Yeah. So like since the PS4.
Yeah.
I mean, and people like, if you look at the console of choice right now, PS5 and PS4 have swept the console wars the past couple generations.
Yeah.
I mean, not including Nintendo versus Xbox, the home console. Like,
well, Xbox is throwing in the towel. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
But you know that means I think they've been complacent for a while.
Yeah.
They did make God of War. Well, their studios made God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Their studios.
Well, they've released a couple good games, but I don't think the company is thriving. I don't think the company is doing right by its player base. You know, I'd feel very confident in putting it in C tier above Epic Games.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't like Epic Games personally, so that's the problem. I don't have much bad blood with Sony. I just think they're making dumb choices. I personally feel like Epic Games is slightly predatory, and it's going down the Blizzard route.
Okay. Okay. You know, I'll agree with you. Let's say C. Let's say C, because that's fun.
I like C. C's fun. Speaking of Blizzard, why don't we throw Blizzard up there? Blizzard is the funny company that the CEO got kicked out because he was
doing bad stuff.
He is doing
bad stuff.
Yep. and they're notorious for crunch, and they
weren't always.
They weren't
which
always.
is the sad part. They were seen as one of the monoliths of gaming.
I know. They used to be the standard, right?
Now they're an F tier.
Yeah. Now they're an F tier.
Now they're an F tier studio.
You used to want to work for Blizzard.
Yeah.
And now you wish you never had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially
The dude got given a golden parachute after sexually harassing workers. Like,
just crazy. Just crazy. I'd recommend anyone that read the book, I believe it's called Play Nice.
yeah, I think it is.
Play Nice by, I'm trying to pull it up right now, but it's by a game journalist who kind of went in depth to like, hey, what actually happened to Blizzard? Because the highs were so high.
Yep.
I mean, they were doing like World of Warcraft.
Yep.
And
Global tournaments,
yeah,
right? This was
insane.
a company that was worldwide renowned. If you worked at Blizzard, you were the dev.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jason last name, or I'm about to butcher it. All right, by Jason Schreier.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Seems close.
Play Nice. It's a very intriguing book.
Yeah. Shout out. Should read.
Yes.
You
get a really good behind the scenes of like, oh man, this is what like game dev culture is like.
Yeah.
So very interesting. But no, it's bottom of the list so far. I'd say Acclaim has a better. Well, no, I'd say Acclaim has brought more.
I think the tough part is Blizzard was once such a good company, but you can't even look at it as a good company now.
Yeah. It's like if we were like kind of ignoring, if we're like, which game studio has like the best peak?
Yeah.
Of like what was like?
Yeah, Blizzard's one of the highest for peak games, but right, you can't,
with everything that's happened.
you
Overall.
can't even acknowledge.
I'm sorry,
it.
Blizzard. I'm sorry. Hey, you're with Activision now. You're making bank. It doesn't matter.
It's true.
It does not matter. Let's go to CD Projekt Red.
I love CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red. We're talking the Witcher series.
Yep.
Talking Cyberpunk 2077.
I will say they did come back and do the fans right. A slight knock because they definitely released a bad game.
They did. It
But-
sounds like more an executive decision than anything else. And now they're doing that new space series that was the big reveal at the last Game Awards.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes.
Which, by the way, I love the Witcher series to my core. I think it's a phenomenal. I think it is a phenomenal story that follows up the books really well. They really believed in the author's vision,
Yeah.
which a lot of game studios, movie studios don't.
Yeah.
So they also did Saints Row. By the way,
Yeah. And that's I love that
which I
series.
love Saints Row.
Super goofy action series.
Yeah. Honestly, they made some spin-off games that weren't super great, but what company doesn't?
Yeah. When you make that many games.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I don't have much I would hate about this. They made Gwent, which was in Witcher, right? And turned out to just be a really fun card game to play outside of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Like
No, I mean they definitely bring a lot of passion to all their projects.
And the music they put in all their games, No, I don't have much bad to say about CD Projekt Red.
But would you put it in S tier?
I really, if Cyberpunk didn't release the way it did, I would without a doubt say yes.
Because I'm sure you would put Larian above CD Projekt Red.
I don't know. I don't know because
I don't have much of an opinion on this, if I'm being honest.
okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you, and then you can decide.
Okay.
I think if you don't look at the release of Cyberpunk, it's an S tier game. But that being said, they did come back and fix the game. It took a year, but they fixed it and then released bonus content that was free and then released a banger DLC that was significantly cheaper than most DLCs coming out. I think it was like $25 or something. Like for a full add-on story and stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I've played Cyberpunk. And that's about it. I haven't played any of the Witcher series, so I can't
but just
speak much
based
to
on
that.
what I told you, how would you feel about that?
I'd say A tier.
Okay,
That's my thought.
I say we leave it in A.
I'm sorry, I'm undecided. I don't have a
That's
strong
fair.
opinion
That's
about
fair.
CD Projekt
I
Red.
personally like CD Projekt Red more than Larian, even though I do think Larian is a better company, if that makes sense.
Okay. They
Like,
feel nicer
They
when
feel
you think
nicer.
of them in
yes.
your head.
I have more fuzzies for Larian, but I like CD Projekt Red's games
Okay.
a lot.
Great. Let's move on to let's do a more niche one. Let's do I don't know if this is
Bungie?
Yeah, let's do Bungie.
We could do Bungie.
That's what I was looking at. Let's do Bungie.
I like Bungie.
So what? All right. Old Halo games.
Yep.
And,
Old Halo
and
games.
Destiny. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Shoot. That's about it. They have
they've done like
no, literally
they've only worked on Destiny really.
they have Halo and Destiny.
Now
I dislike Destiny, by the way.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
F tier.
Yeah.
Right in front of Blizzard.
I don't think you're being sincere in that one.
I want it below. I want it above Epic Games, but below Sony.
Okay.
That's where I want
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
But you could say something
Yeah,
different.
I'm trying to think. I mean, the original Halo games that they made were like generational.
Yeah, I think we're definitely looking at the state of the company, though.
And Destiny 1 was overall a great product.
I enjoyed Destiny 1.
Destiny 2 really taints the image of the company for me.
Yeah.
Which makes
sense. It has
sense
more players.
because
though.
it's like one of their 3 games
Yeah.
that they've made. It's better. It is better. It's not as good as Sony, for sure.
Okay,
I think it's below Epic Games. I think it's below Epic Games. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just don't like Epic Games.
I know, but I feel like that's a Fortnite
when
stigmatism.
I feel Epic Games right now, I'm thinking that they're doing something Blizzard's doing. I bet the background of Epic Games is full of the Blizzard stuff.
You think so?
That's what I feel. That's my gut feeling.
That's your gut feeling.
And we clip this, and when it happens down the road and Epic Games is gone because of some sexual harassment lawsuit,
They're not. I'm
going to be right.
I think if anything, they'll just get in trouble for more of like the kid stuff versus anything to do with like their culture.
The pedophilic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
don't
could
think they'll have to. I don't think it'll have to do with that. I think it'll have to do with like dark patterns and getting kids to give them money.
Well, they're already in a lawsuit.
Exactly, but I just think they'll
yeah.
keep getting in trouble with that.
Like I said, they're a predatory company, and I think they're predatory with their Unreal Engine stuff too.
Okay,
But it's fine. It's fine.
then you're making. I mean, I guess I have to put Bungie above after
I think
an
you
argument
do.
like that.
I think
That's
you
crazy.
do.
All right, quick little update. We got Coffee Stain in S, CD Projekt Red, Larian and Atlas in A, Rockstar, Bandai Namco, and Team Ninja in B, Sony in C, Bungie and Epic Games in D, and Acclaim and Blizzard in F.
Yep.
So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Wouldn't want to make any changes at the moment.
I feel good.
I'm sure people will be upset that Sony's in C, but you know, I believe in you guys. You can do it. You'll make it. All right. I want to grab. Let's grab this guy, the creator of Stardew Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Oh man, let me.
What else has he made?
Nothing.
Is it just Stardew Valley?
Yes.
S tier.
I don't know. Like, how can you say that?
How do you rate solo devs?
It's concern. It's concern Dave. So this is what I want to bring him up. So this is one game. It's a dev that's made one game, right?
Yeah.
Though he is making like Chocolatier game or something like that. Haunted Chocolatier
Yep.
is a game, but he also just released a big new update for Stardew Valley.
He did.
My wife did inform me.
Yes.
Of 1.6.
Yep.
So he's still updating the game. Overall, seems like a good guy.
Yep.
He definitely like won the indie game lottery for sure, but it's a good game.
It is.
So it's not like it was no skill. He made every aspect of the game, I believe, besides I believe a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
So a very impressive work by this guy. But it's one game. So where does it go?
True.
I could give it an optimistic like A, just like you haven't done anything like bad or like even controversial yet, but there's
That's
not
fair.
enough information.
That's fair. Put him bottom of the A bracket.
Yeah.
Just because.
Again, that's nothing against like. It's just like, I want to see more.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to see more.
That's fair.
I want to see him with the team. I want to see
agree.
like his creative vision, but
Yeah.
like being able to be executed like widely. And
I agree. Bro's made millions off of Stardew.
I don't think he's coasting because he's still working. He still finds passion in the game, so that's always exciting
Good for
to see.
him.
And that's
There's a part of me that I would just maybe coast, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
can't go
it's
that
the love of the
long.
game.
Yeah.
The love of the game. So I mean, so that's just kind of set the precedent for like those single game
Yeah.
developers.
Ooh, Traxxas. Maybe not. No. Don't listen to me.
Okay, Rocksteady. Let's grab Rocksteady.
Steady.
So, this is one that like it's in my library in my head of like, yes, I know that Rocksteady is a gaming studio, right?
Yeah. Oh, they did the Arkham series.
Okay. But they also did
Yes.
Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Yeah. They did do that.
So,
That is crazy.
it does look like it's only Arkham and Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, except in 2006 they did make Urban Chaos, Riot Response for the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox. So,
B tier.
really?
I don't know. They made Kill the Justice League.
I'd say C.
Oh.
I'd
But
say
the Arkham games are good.
Arkham City is the only thing worth more than
What
an 8.
about Arkham Asylum? No.
No,
That's
it
like my favorite Arkham game.
Really? The Asylum?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. When was the last time you played Arkham Asylum?
2012,
Arkham Origins is better than Arkham
2016,
Asylum.
something like that.
All right. I don't know. It's just the Arkham games, which are good and make you feel like Batman.
They do make you feel like Batman.
But Arkham City was like really good.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Asylum was a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Knight was better than I think people give him credit for. But
You really want to put them in C?
oh yeah, for sure.
Above Sony?
They're below all the B tier ones for sure.
That's fair.
They're alongside. Well, I think, is it above or below Sony though? That's the question.
They made Kill the Justice League.
Below Sony it is. We are gonna jump to
Capcom.
Yeah, let's do Capcom.
Capcom.
All right. You ready for me? You ready for this from me?
Yeah.
I think Capcom does belong in S tier because I think that they've made like amazing games.
Yeah, but their
since-
website sucks.
You know, I didn't think about that.
Have you looked at their website?
That's their mobile site, I guess. Listen, like let me list off a couple series for you, right?
Okay.
Just a couple,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, Dead Rising, Ace Attorney, Dino Crisis,
Shoot.
Resident Evil, Onimusha, Dragon's Dogma,
No, yeah, put it in S.
Okami.
These are great games. Devil May Cry.
Power Stone.
Wait, did they actually do Devil May Cry?
Look at that, they did. Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
Well,
Ashura's Wrath, Bionic Commander,
I'm sold.
the original Mega Mans. Let's not forget about the original Mega Mans and all the Mega Mans.
Did you know Capcom's most successful game is Resident Evil, which has sold over 167 million copies?
Resident Evil what?
Game franchise, sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say there's no way the original Resident Evil did that. Anyway,
Monster Hunter is second with 108 million.
but Monster Hunter does have, I believe, their highest selling single game.
Yes, Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yes,
Sold
it used to be World.
3 million copies in 3 days?
Yep, it's
Something
still
ludicrous.
going. It's still going. Capcom is an S tier in my opinion.
give
can't-
Capcom
I'm-
S.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I would put it above Coffee Stain.
And wow, yippee! You're agreeing with me. I love that.
I really like you started listing off Capcom games and I'm like, dang, I like a lot of those.
Capcom's like they rarely miss.
They know how to make a good game.
And honestly, like, I don't want to say they've had a renaissance, but like their eras just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like they're doing their
That's true.
own like directs now.
I'm like, once I finish KCD 2, I'm playing Wilds
There you go.
because I need to play every Game of the Year contender this year.
Great. I love that. I love that. Capcom currently leading the pack above Coffee Stain now. That's crazy.
Wow.
I want to grab.
King. King Games.
Let's grab King Games. I'm gonna put in mobile tier for the time being as a placeholder. Let's find out
Candy Crush.
what King has made.
Candy Crush. Candy Crush Solitaire. Candy Crush Soda.
Hey, they made Royal Match too.
Farm Heroes Saga.
Wait, no,
Just
they didn't. What am I crazy? What? Wait.
Yeah, just put him in mobile tier.
Okay. Surely they've made something else. No, they've only... Wait, what?
Does King Games have a game?
I mean, they've made...
Technically, you
Man.
can play Candy Crush on your...
This is crazy. I think they've only done like Candy Crush and
Yeah,
one like
they have.
unrecognizable piece of garbage.
Yep, that's a mobile game tier.
That is, yeah, I guess mobile games do deserve their own tier.
Yep.
So, I mean, if we see Supercell, we can, give it another consideration.
Dice.
Oh, you see Dice?
Yeah, not bottom, second to the right.
There
Yeah.
it is. Oh, it just doesn't look like a word.
Dice.
Dice Studios. They made Battlefield.
Yes, I like old Dice.
Old Dice.
I don't know that I like new Dice.
What game has Dice made?
The new Battlefield game.
So Battlefield. What's the newest Battlefield?
I actually don't like the
game?
last couple Battlefield game.
I like Battlefield 1.
I like Battlefield 1. I think it's probably the last Battlefield game I super
Oh,
like.
it was 2042.
They also did Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, they did Mirror's Edge. Good for them. Vampire Survivors.
They did Vampire Survivors?
No.
That does not sound right.
They published it.
Okay, but they made Shrek, the 2001 video game.
Ponkel made Vampire Survivors.
I was going to say Vampire Survivors
Yeah,
was super indie. Super indie. I mean, they have their game type for sure.
Well, okay, so here's the deal, right? They made Battlefield 2042 pretty bad, right? That was their last Battlefield game in 2021.
Before that, it was 2016.
Yep, Battlefield 1.
And then Battlefield 4 is 2013.
Yep. Battlefield 5 was 2018.
Man, games take so long to make now. It bums me out.
Battlefield 5 didn't like. So I think Battlefield 1 is the last Battlefield game I really liked. 2016 is crazy.
Almost 10 years ago.
Battlefront 2 I enjoyed.
I did too. I played it at launch, and it obviously didn't launch well.
No.
But I mean,
it was better than Battlefront 1.
by a long shot.
Yeah.
Here's my controversial opinion. When Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, everyone hated the card system because it was kind of directly pay to win or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I didn't but you can also earn it by playing.
Yep.
I really liked the system, if I'm being honest. I thought it was super cool to upgrade.
I don't know
stuff.
if you noticed, there's a whole lot of games coming out now that have card systems. I genuinely enjoy card systems because it lets you play a different way.
Yeah.
Every time.
The
right?
problem was just
you could
being
upgrade
able
them faster and
because they were powerful.
Yeah.
But you could just buy them basically with the loot boxes.
Which is fair considering anyone could get them. It's just the difference was 100 hours of grinding to get the one you want versus I'm going to pay $15 and just kill you.
Yeah.
It's just predatory enough that I wasn't a fan of the loot boxes.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, if it came out now, it would not have even made a dent in the marketing.
Which is crazy.
It would have. It's just insane how everything ramps up that fast.
Okay, so here's the deal with DICE, right?
Yeah.
I think they made great games. Now they make good games, but the games they've made have some predatory loot boxes in them. Which any company that likes doing predatory loot boxes goes down, in my opinion.
But do you think that was DICE or do you think that was EA?
Oh, it was 100% EA, but DICE still allowed it.
Yeah, that's true.
They published the game.
I mean, but what
they
was
built
their
the
option?
loot boxes.
What was their option though?
Go plead to Microsoft? I don't know.
To
publish it?
To publish
DICE
DICE
is big enough to publish their own games.
Yeah, but EA had the Star Wars license.
Oh, that's true.
They didn't really have an option.
They put a battle pass in Battlefield 2042.
Okay. I don't know anything about 2042.
Where do you want to put it?
I want to put it in C.
That feels right.
Below Rocksteady.
That feels good.
Below Rocksteady, below Sony, but above Bungie and Epic Games.
That feels good.
I'm going to grab
Mojang.
I was looking for it.
Mojang now is basically a Microsoft shill.
I think Mojang is an F tier.
You know, I was gonna say like D, but I will happily put in F.
I think Mojang.
The fact that they work a whole year on an update and it's just adding a single mob when modders make hundreds every single year, like, come on, Mojang.
Yeah. It's.
I don't understand how Mojang employs over 100 developers and what they're even working on. Like, I have seen modders do something in a year than what Mojang has brought out in official updates.
But you gotta think, but that didn't go through the proper executives to okay the creative direction
that's
behind
the problem. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't even like Notch.
Yeah.
Like, he's come out and he's like,
I'm making another Minecraft.
he's making
game.
another Minecraft, but it's going to be like when Minecraft was in 2014. It's like, I don't want Minecraft from 2014. I think it's better now than it was in 2014.
I like how I felt when I was playing Minecraft in 2014,
That's-
but I don't know
that's
if
fair,
if I'm
yeah.
gonna think that's super fun.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, you don't get it either. I don't think any of them get it. I say Mojang F tier.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Like, what have they done?
Nothing.
They made Minecraft
They sold out to
Dungeons and
Microsoft.
Minecraft Story Mode and all the Minecraft spin-off games.
Yeah, they sold off to Microsoft.
F tier,
F.
almost mobile game tier, but F tier. Let's go for an interesting one. Let's go for Raven. Let's go for Raven.
Oh, they made
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna-
you're gonna
I'm-
confidently say that.
I'm not gonna say
I know
it.
they worked on some shooters.
I'm not gonna say it until I've looked. They worked on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare,
Yeah.
Call of Duty Warzone, Soldier of Fortune, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2. I'm not a huge fan of many of these games. Quake 4,
This is
Call of Duty Black Ops,
a mid game
Call
or
of-
mid game studio. Upon looking at the landscape,
Yeah,
sorry to say,
they're like, who gets outsourced to? Well, they made Black Ops.
they
3.
made Wolfenstein.
All of them,
I don't know,
or just the
the
first one?
original. So
Well,
not
that's
the
yeah,
not like the
it's not
crazy
even like
ones.
the ones that people super like.
But also, counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
They made Quake.
Yeah, in
All right.
1999. What is
Another
that?
counterpoint. They made Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2,
Okay.
which are good games, and the X-Men Legend games, which are good games.
When did those come out?
Ultimate Alliance 2 was 2012, I think.
Yeah.
Ultimate Alliance 1 was 2008.
They don't even exist anymore. They're a subset of
Unfortunately-
Activision now.
Unfortunately.
So I don't know. I think
this is a D.
it's a D.
I think it's a D.
Yeah.
Go right under Epic.
Like, I think they were a good company until they got bought out and just don't exist.
Great. Let's talk about Valve.
S.
How?
It's Valve. You got
Yes.
Okay, are we including Steam?
No.
Why?
Are we including Sony's TVs?
Well, that Steam is like Steam though. Like, they are.
That's a different product.
Yeah, but
That's
Valve,
a different product.
Valve as a company is built for gamers.
We're talking about Valve, like the Valve Game Studios.
Okay, well, what game have they released that's not a banger?
That's true.
Plus,
But when's the last time
they are the highest paid company to work at. Like, if you're a game developer and you get into Valve, you've made it. You are at the top of the top.
Man, I thought they made Back for Blood, but they didn't.
If I'm not mistaken, the average game developer salary at Valve is $1.2 million.
Because what? There's 5 developers because they're not making
think-
games. Is
Well,
that
they
why?
are. They're making Deadlock right now.
Oh, that's right. They are working on a game.
And they still maintain Dota.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dota 2.
You know what? No, you're right. It is S tier.
I think it's definitely an S tier company.
I was gonna fight that more.
I think Valve is 100% an S tier company.
Below Coffee Stain, above Coffee Stain.
I think it's above Coffee Stain, but definitely below Capcom, even though it makes a ton more money than Capcom.
Yeah, but how much of that is Steam?
Oh, almost all of it's
Yeah,
Steam.
exactly.
I think they make, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that Dota 2 makes slightly less than League of Legends, which is Riot's cash cow.
Slightly less is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I want to see the audience split for Dota 2 and League.
it's mostly Eastern Europeans, so they have all of Russia, China.
Mm-hmm.
China's split between League and Dota, but there's a lot of Chinese Dota players too.
Mm-hmm. There's the Dota song. That was the Russian one. I don't know if you remember that. That was a banger back in the day.
Yeah. So like when I was in Lithuania, right? I told people that I dabbled in League, and everyone's like, "You play League? League sucks. Play Dota."
Let's jump to another what would you call it? Niche.
Yeah, we can jump to another niche.
We're doing id Studios.
id.
Well, I mean, not necessarily super niche because they made all the Doom games, and now they're part of Microsoft and they're doing all that stuff. They made the new Wolfenstein games.
I love the new Wolfenstein
They
games.
made Quake Champions.
I guess I don't know much about the studio itself.
They're kind of like they're conglomerated into the whole Microsoft stuff. They're a Doom machine at this point. Doom and Quake and Wolfenstein.
Have they released anything unique recently? They made Rage. In 2011 is when that released.
Well, they made Rage 2.
So they've done Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, and Rage, but they didn't do the most recent Wolfenstein?
Who made the most recent Wolfenstein?
No, they did. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, 2017. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
Their Wikipedia page is weird.
Okay. Well,
I don't know much other than they now work for Microsoft. So, C, D.
why?
I don't know. I like their games, but they sold to Microsoft.
Okay, they got bought out, but
Yeah.
they're still like a studio and they're still making games.
I don't know, man. I like their games.
I think it's B.
Sure.
I think it's B.
Sure.
Let's do B.
We can do B.
Under Team Ninja.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna grab Arc Studios.
We might not get all through these.
No, we
today.
won't. We will not get through all
We'll
of
have
them.
to finish these later.
No, I think we will get to all the ones that we know.
Zynga!
I don't know. What was that?
The dog!
The dog.
The red dog left. Zynga!
You want to talk about Zynga instead of Arc Studios?
I don't know. Zynga's funny.
Oh, do you just see it and you're just like, that sounds funny to say?
They made Farmville, bro. That's where I remember them from.
Oh, I know exactly where these guys are going, and it's
Mobile
in
tier.
above King, let's say, just because they didn't make Candy Crush.
They made Farmville, bro. I played that on my Facebook account. They also made Zynga Poker, at one point the most popular poker app on the App Store.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, we're gonna talk about Arc System Works now. That's this red one here.
That's fair.
They've made Guilty Gear Strive.
Anything else?
They make a lot of anime fighter games.
Holy cow, I see that.
So they made Guilty Gear Strive, Under Night and Birth. They're doing the Hunter x Hunter fighting game. They're doing they got their thing. I believe they also did some Dragon Ball Fighters.
Did they just do the one
crazy.
Guilty Gear game, or have they done all of them?
They've done most of them. They have a very distinct style.
That's the only thing going for them is the Guilty Gear games.
They have a very distinct style. No, all right. Under Night and Birth is super popular too.
C.
Okay, I think what they do is good. But
unless you want it in B, you can put it in B.
No, I think C above Sony.
That's fair.
C above Sony.
I think that's fair.
Konami. Let's talk about Konami.
Oh, more Japanese games.
I think Konami sucks.
Konami.
They got rid of their only good.
Oh, they did Metal Gear Solid and Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and Castlevania.
Okay, so imagine you're Konami, and then this guy named Hideo Kojima comes in and makes like your most profitable gaming series ever.
Yeah,
and then you kick him out because that's what they did.
That
after Metal Gear Solid 5, and then they made Metal Gear Survive, which is like, I'm pretty sure one of the lowest standing games ever.
That feels incredibly
But they also
dumb.
did Silent Hill. So take that as you will.
Bars?
Bars. And they've done some Castlevania.
I don't like where their games are at now.
Yes. If you asked me like 20 years ago.
They have a mobile game for playing slots.
Hey, they got to hustle. They got a side grind,
What is
they got a side grind.
They have a gambling game. What?
Oh, they have arcade machines too. So like there's Castlevania arcade machines.
Their most selling game is Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't like that.
That's fine. I think they made good games in the past, but most of it was from people that no longer work there.
F tier.
Good for you. We're going above Blizzard though.
That's yes.
And Acclaim.
Let's
do
do a couple more.
Well, let's get the big boys out of the way.
Okay.
Here, let's do Sega.
Sega
Was dominant player in the 80s.
Yep.
Threw in the towel.
Yep.
But they still make pretty darn good games.
I like Sega.
I'm being honest. Like, I mean, the Sonic, whatever, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But
they made Tetris.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what else can you say about it, man? They made Alien Isolation.
Well, I'm excited for
Sonic Racing.
Is they're talking about not only have they made like good games modernly and in the past, they're talking about bringing back a lot of their older series, like a new Crazy Taxi game, a new Jet Set Radio game.
Did you play Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii?
No, but they did the Yakuza series, and it is super funny and good.
I love Yakuza. Wait, is that the one that's not out yet? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's out.
Is it?
It's out.
It is out.
And then Sega is like weird because are we including Atlas in it since it's a part of Sega? But I'm assuming no.
We already considered some different.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with Yakuza, their older titles, and like Sonic's their low point, if we're being honest.
I mean, they still come out with some bangers though. So,
I'd say A.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Bottom A.
Yeah, bottom of A.
But yeah.
Bottom of A. All right, let's do some rapid fire ones.
Ubisoft. F.
I say D.
Fine.
They're not as terrible as the ones we've mentioned before. Warner Brothers. That one I think we can put an F.
Yeah, bad game studio.
I think Warner Brothers has made almost all the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I'm looking at, I should put Blizzard at the bottom.
Probably.
And then this looks right.
Yeah.
In F tier, we got Konami, Acclaim, Warner Brothers, Mojang, and Blizzard.
Yeah.
Let's do. Do I want to talk about Platinum? We'll talk about Platinum real quick.
We can. Yeah. Platinum
Games. They made Astral Chain for the Nintendo Switch, which is probably not going to help you, but they've made Bayonetta, which is a good series.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good series.
I like Bayonetta.
They did.
Did they make Ninja Gaiden? Or they're working in conjunction with?
Yes.
Okay.
They made Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Okay.
With they developed it, and it was published by Konami.
So really, they're just Bayonetta.
Well, they also made a couple Nintendo games, and they made Nier Automata, and they made The Wonderful 101, and yeah, they made Ninja Gaiden. They're making Ninja Gaiden.
So B?
I'd say, oh man, let's look at the list. It belongs in C. It belongs in C.
Okay.
Platinum games have like the style to it where if you're a fan of Platinum games, you're like, oh, new Platinum games coming out. Mm-hmm. But if you're not into Platinum games...
I recognize some of these logos, but I can't tell you what the game studio is.
Should we talk about Obsidian?
We can talk about Obsidian Entertainment.
Yeah. I want to hear what you think first.
They've really fallen off.
Really? See, you give me mixed vibes on Obsidian because you're like, man, I love the Outer Worlds and I love Fallout New Vegas, but I hate Avowed.
I think, like I said, I think they're falling off.
They're making an Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds wasn't that far away.
I don't know. I think
they also made like Knights of the Old Republic 2.
I guess that's where I'm at. Is I feel about it because they made Grounded, which I really like Grounded, but they made Pillars of Eternity 2, which I thought was pretty mid.
I think they're a studio that's like you don't know what you're gonna get with them.
Yeah, I completely agree because like Grounded still feels indie to me. Not gonna lie.
It kind of does.
You play Grounded and you're like, this did not come out of a AAA game studio.
Yep, we're gonna put it in B.
Same with Outer Wilds.
Outer Worlds.
Sorry.
Outer Worlds feels indie to you?
No, sorry. I was thinking Outer Wilds. I like Outer Worlds.
Because Outer Wilds is an indie game.
Outer Worlds feels AAA, and then Grounded feels like an indie game.
Yep.
And so really mix things from them.
Okay.
Okay, what next?
Let's do NetherRealm. Let's do some NetherRealm.
Let's do a couple more, and then we will.
Yeah, you guys get the idea of what we like. You get the discussion. But
Oh, these guys are owned by Warner Brothers.
they made Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they did. And they're owned by Warner Brothers.
They made Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
I like both those series.
I don't really. I like Injustice because it was the fighting game with DC characters, and I did play a lot of Injustice 1 and 2.
Get over here.
I think their fighting games are dumb and stupid. Like a lot of their games have moves that take up the whole screen, or you can teleport behind your enemies, and that's why instead of like blocking high or low, they just have one block. Because they just give a lot of BS moves, so they're gonna make it easy and just have one block.
It is. It's the easy man's fighting game though. It's Mortal Kombat.
D.
Where in D?
Above Ubisoft.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab Rare.
Ubisoft.
Actually,
hard.
I'm not gonna say much about Rare. I like
Sea of Thieves.
amazing Golden Age, but now they have Sea of Thieves, and that's about it.
Yep, and they aren't even treating their player base well in Sea of Thieves.
Below Sony.
Below Sony.
Below Rocksteady.
Below Rocksteady. Below DICE.
Below DICE.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Let's do.
What is that logo in the top? Firaxis? Is that what it is? Firaxis? I don't know what that one is.
I don't know. A lot
I've
of these are
seen
cut
it.
off, and this is a badly formatted tier list. We are going to do, I think maybe.
Firaxis Games. I was right.
Okay. Do you know anything about them?
Yeah, they made Sid Meier's.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. You'll know most of their games. They're a strategy game company.
Okay.
They have done. Let me pull up games. They did Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. All the Sid Meier's games, so it's fine. Civ. Okay. XCOM. They did the XCOM games.
Ooh, those are good.
They did. Yeah. Anyway, and Civilization. XCOM and Civilization. They've made a lot of other like strategy games that haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Marvel's Midnight Suns, I guess they did that.
Apparently one of the most or probably it was a good game. It just didn't get anywhere.
And
Like,
they just
no one
released
got it.
Civ 7.
Yep. What do you think? I don't care. I'd say D, but that's because I'm
throw
not
it
a
in D.
big...
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
That's not the studio.
Oh, which one is it?
Second row, down to the right. Yeah, Firaxis right there.
Oh, that looks like an icon out of the 90s. I'm sorry.
It is an icon outlet. They have not changed their logo since they were founded in 1994.
Huh.
So you are dead on.
Wow. I just didn't consider it. All right, I got some of the last ones we should talk about at the top here. Okay. Telltale Games.
I love their games, but the company's dead.
Yep. Mobile
game now.
Yeah.
I think they do make mobile games now, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not gonna base it off a guess. I'm gonna say D.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna say D. Arcane.
Oh, Arcane Studios.
Arcane. I want to be accurate.
Which, yeah, because I don't remember exactly. They made, I know they made one of my favorite games of all time, which is Dishonored.
Yeah, they made Dishonored, Prey, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
They are dead now, by the way, though.
Deathloop, Redfall.
Yeah, shoot, they made the two games I've hated on the most in the last couple of years. Shoot, how'd they go from making such good games to becoming a trash company?
Where does it go to F?
F. Screw that. They made Deathloop and freaking Redfall. Freaking awful games. EA, F tier company. Screw that. I think
it goes
guys.
next to Blizzard.
Yeah.
I don't think is it really, like, do we need to say anything about EA?
No,
we don't.
What an awful company.
No, we don't.
Loot boxes, aggressive monetization, predatory monetization, pay to win in almost every single one of their games.
A lot of repeat
series that have pay to win aspects too, because you pay to unlock gold player cards for like their FIFA games and others. Awful. Bethesda. They've fallen out of my good graces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, they were the the untouchable back in the day.
Yeah, but now, like Harry Potter,
I can touch you. It's when Voldemort.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I had no idea what you were talking about there for a second. But understandable. Bethesda I think is a C.
That's fair. I
think is a C. Oh gosh.
Below Sony.
Yeah, below Sony.
For now.
Square Enix.
Ooh.
I think it's in ooh. Square Enix makes a lot of games is the problem.
I know.
Some of my favorite games have been from Square Enix.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, Nier Automata.
No, that was
They co-op with it.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts. Life is Strange. Yeah, the Final Fantasy series, really.
Yeah.
That's what their big boy
That's
is.
their big thing.
Dragon Quest. You've been playing Dragon Quest.
Yeah, see, they've made a lot of great games.
I honestly, I don't have much hate for Square. Yeah, I give them an A.
I'd give them an A. I think they just make a bunch of like games that I'm just like, I'm just not the target audience for anymore at this point. All right, Tencent.
Awful company.
I don't know much about them, but I'm pretty sure they're owned by...
no, they own most games.
That's right. They're like the big slime that eats up everything.
They're big slime. But what have they produced?
PUBG Mobile.
PUBG Mobile, Arena of Valor.
Man, these are all
Call of Duty mobiles. So they just own all the studios that make games. But they make mobile games.
So mobile game.
But they made PUBG.
I'm gonna go below King for this one on the mobile game list.
Yeah, that's fair.
Last one of the day.
Nintendo.
Let's talk about Nintendo.
I hate Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Yeah,
Nintendo.
it sucks because for you, it's like you're not even a fan of their games.
No, but I understand the appeal of the games.
But because you're not a fan of their games, like it doesn't mean as much. So the only thing you care about is like
I'm consistently like, yeah, they make good games, but what an awful company for gamers.
No, I disagree.
Yes.
I heartily disagree with that.
Yeah, they treat their employees well. That's fine, but it's just such a closed box. It's whatever. I
don't know.
I can understand the love for Nintendo. I understand it. It's just I don't like their company decisions because they do.
The reason why you can get mad at Nintendo is because they are very adamant about shutting down fan projects.
Yeah, I definitely don't like that.
I don't like that. I'm not going to try and defend that.
Well, they like when their games are dead to just have them be dead, which I'm not a fan of.
But that's every company. You can't just say that about Nintendo.
Or even stealing the emulation tech that they cease and desisted for their own.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
But who even know? Because the museum's owned by like a different thing or whatever. Like that's not.
Yeah, but it's
Miyamoto
obviously
isn't like yes, we're going to use the
obviously
emulator.
licensed by them.
Yeah, so it's funny. That's funny.
The fact that they cease and desist the emulation tech that's running their games, but then co-opt the emulation tech to run their museum is like the most double standard like punch to the community's face ever. Anyway, I don't know. I don't like that they sue people in the US for emulation and pull them into Japanese courts. I don't like. There's a bunch of things I don't like about how they do their practice. The Nintendo legal machine.
The Nintendo Ninjas.
Yeah, the Nintendo Ninjas is a beast and is
Though
awful.
I guess no, it's fallen off because I don't think any of those companies that leaked the Switch 2 got anything.
That's fair, unless
They
Nintendo
probably just
wanted
lost their
them
business.
to.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Build hype.
No, it didn't because it made the teaser trailer seem like a flop.
I think they're a fine company because everything they do, nothing they do is shady.
No,
it's just like they're waving a big stick unreasonably, in my opinion.
They're a super tradition. They still have a very traditional mindset when it comes to around their IP.
Yeah, that
is like the one big thing about Nintendo. That's super negative.
Yeah,
but and everything you're talking about stems from that. Is they just have a super traditional like idea of how to handle their IP, and it's probably changing. Like new people are coming in. They have a new overall game director for Nintendo now. They have all this new stuff. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to say like, oh, that excuses all that stuff. But like their games are not just like important, but like I don't know. They kind of define
I don't want them in
gaming
S.
for a while. I assumed you didn't.
I don't want them in S.
Yeah, I know.
I am fine with A. I get it,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not want them in S tier.
I think it goes in S tier though.
Go scroll up. Show me what we have up there.
It's up there with these guys for
I
sure.
don't want it up there with those guys.
Yeah, because I get it. I understand why, and you understand why me.
Like honestly, I'd put it below CD Projekt Red, in my opinion.
No.
But there are so many Nintendo stands out there who would disagree. And there's one sitting across from me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're not. Here's the deal. If I said predatory, I'm like
They're
like
not
putting them
predatory
against
at
EA,
all.
and they're
my
not.
gosh, they are not
I was
predatory
just,
at
I was just
all.
saying how I wasn't gonna say that.
No, but you're saying that as if they're doing anything predatory.
No, they're just mean. They're meanies.
They're only mean
They're
to fan bases
meanies.
trying to do custom things. That's such
Exactly,
a subsect
but
of...
that's like mean. It doesn't.
I'm
It doesn't
not
affect
trying to
their. It
defend
doesn't
that.
affect their business. It doesn't. It doesn't even lose them sales because they're mostly on games they don't make anymore, and have said they're not planning on redoing them.
Depends.
And
There's been a couple times where that's not the case.
Well,
but-
yeah, a couple times, but the vast majority revolves around games they don't work on anymore, which is ridiculous. Because you have to then like go and buy an old console with an old game because you can't, play the game on what you have.
Yeah.
Like they don't even make the consoles they're forcing you to buy to play those games.
Yeah. No. I get all that. But that's not a uniquely Nintendo thing.
I don't know.
That is not a uniquely Nintendo thing.
No, it's not. And I would judge other companies for doing the same thing.
But you didn't bring it up.
That's because they aren't as egregious
Because
as
this
Nintendo.
is all you have to say about it. That's the only thing you can say about Nintendo.
Yeah, and I would not put it in S tier because I hate it. I hate it so much, man.
I know. I'm trying to break through your bias here.
It's such a good. They make
but
such
ultimately,
good games.
They're a company about making games, and like their games are like they
Yeah.
really care about their games.
I know.
They get their game development cycle better than any of these other companies. They do.
I know.
That's just how it is.
I know. And everyone says they're great to work for, and everyone says that it's all this and that. I just don't
So what I'm hearing is like it's an S tier company, but like they don't like they definitely abuse the legal stuff.
Yeah.
For convoluted issues. Not even like
Yeah, exactly. Because like
it's
yeah,
for convoluted issues though. They're not like abusing it. They're within the
well,
law.
I don't know.
It's just like, oh, this is scummy that they're doing this. or
Exactly. But you put the word scummy on there.
Yeah, because that's the best
Yeah.
way to communicate it.
Exactly. They've got some pond scum on top of their pristine water.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's a legal team. I don't know. It's like such a different like thing. You know, it's such a uniquely like Nintendo problem.
I'm not going to throw a fit if you put it in S. I don't want it in S, though.
No, I get it.
So you can put it there. I'm going to watch you do it.
I'll put it at the top of A.
Okay.
I'll put it at the top of A.
Okay.
Because I respect your opinion too.
Here's the deal.
The thing is, I don't get why you're so upset about this because you just don't like their stuff to begin with. And I feel like you just kind of use this as like a shield for actually trying to communicate about their games.
I'm very happy to say that their games are very good, right? But I dislike, because I've talked with so many people who are like, Nintendo makes the best games ever, and then they talk about like Splatoon is the best tactical shooter.
You're thinking of Little Bros, okay? That's all you're thinking.
Well,
you're thinking about
me.
children.
It bugs me and it makes me mad.
Children say the same about Fortnite.
Yeah, and I would still I put Epic Games at the bottom.
Yeah, but Fortnite is still like you can't deny that Fortnite was a good product.
Yeah, in 2016.
It's still a good product now.
No.
It's free.
So?
It's free.
Yeah. As it really takes advantage of kids
hate that
to
the
buy
kids
things.
like this. Oh my gosh, they're playing
there's
their
a reason
new
they're
video
getting,
games.
There's a reason they're getting sued for predatory monetization.
Epic Games.
Yes, in Fortnite.
Yes, because they swap the buttons, not because they're like.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's free, but is it? It's the reason why they're getting sued.
It is free.
Yeah, just like gambling is free will, but once you're addicted, it's hard, man.
Thanks for gambling on this episode and making it all the way to the end. We'll have more to discuss about Nintendo, but we've talked about Nintendo a lot.
I know.
Let us know how this episode was for you guys. Do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Let's go over the final tier list, shall we? In S tier, at the very top, we got Capcom, followed by Valve and Coffee Stain. In A tier, we got Nintendo.
No. Put Nintendo in S. It's fine. But below Coffee Stain.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I will surrender that.
All right. So revised in S. We have Capcom, Valve, Coffee Stain, and Nintendo. In A tier, we got CD Projekt Red,
Whoop whoop.
Larian,
Whoop whoop.
Atlas, Concerned Ape, Square Enix, and Sega.
Yep.
B tier, we got Rockstar,
Yep.
Bandai Namco, Team Ninja,
Yep.
id, and Obsidian.
Yep.
In Platinum, in C tier, we got Platinum,
Yep.
Arc System Studios, Sony, Bethesda, Rocksteady, DICE, Rare. In D, we got, what is this one?
Firaxis.
Thank you. Firaxis, Bungie, Epic Games, Raven, NetherRealm, Ubisoft, Telltale Games. In F tier, we have Arcane, Konami, Acclaim, Warner Brothers, Mojang, EA, and Blizzard.
Yep.
And finally, we have mobile game tier with Zynga, King, and Tencent. After looking at this, I really feel like Ubisoft should be in that F tier.
Yeah, I'm kind of vibing with Ubisoft in F tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to make that change. But that's the list. I think this is pretty decent.
I do too.
I think there are some picks in here that people won't like. Like, I think Sony being in C will make people upset. But all their fun exclusive games weren't actually made by them.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Which is tough.
you know, that's how it is. If anyone's a fan of Warner Brother Game Studios, I want to know why. I want to know why. I think it's fine to like some Blizzard games, but just liking Blizzard as a studio is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel really good about this list. Let us know if there are any other lists that we should do. If this is a segment we should even continue.
yeah. We tried something new out today.
Yeah.
We did. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the part where we yelled about Nintendo and how I wasn't expecting Micah to do Capcom at S. So that was fun for me. All right. Well, that was a fun segment.
Yep.
Thanks for watching to the end of the show.
Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
The bell.
And do all those other things. And make sure to drink some water and get some rest.
Touch grass. It's getting warm out.
I don't know, Vinny.
Most of the grass is still dead, though.
You don't need to touch the grass yet.
Unless you're somewhere where the grass isn't dead, in which case, stay warm.
Peace.
See ya.